Virginia. Tony is on the line. Tony, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hello, sir. How are you?
I'm living the dream. What's going on?
Okay, so to give you a 30,000-foot view, I've been a high school Spanish teacher for 7 years, and frustration with the way things are going now, as well as this not being what I envisioned myself doing, when I was growing up. I wish to leave this profession and transfer over into cyber security. So
Great.
I've gotten the CompTIA Security Plus certification. I've been studying different little, penetration testing tools and things like that on my own. And I've rewritten my resume dozens of times. I've sent out literally hundreds of applications on Indeed, LinkedIn, USA Jobs, and what have you, even Monster.com and so on and so forth. And I just can't seem to get an interview. Even I've had times where I'm talking to relatives of people I work with, trying to network and, get a recommendation, on my application when I go to apply for a company maybe that person used to work for. Still struggle to get to the interviewing phase. So I just called your show for you to just give me some advice on what I'm doing wrong and what haven't I considered and how I need to re-strategize.
So what is your process? Give me the super simple description. What's your process for submitting resumes and getting interviews? What are you doing? What all is involved?
Okay, so I have a resume that I have written that's geared towards project management jobs. I have a resume I've written that's geared more towards cybersecurity jobs, each with different keywords and search terms and things like that on there, different purpose statements. I send in the application. After I read the job posting to make sure that this is something that I have the qualifications for or that I have a transferable skill to. So I read the application. I submit my resume, sometimes a cover letter, and a PDF copy of my certifications in with the actual job application itself. And then after that, I just wait and for the updated status.
There's the answer to the question. You are playing the job lottery. You ever been in a casino before, Tony? It's okay if you have. It's not a bad thing.
I never have. I'm not really one to gamble.
Have you ever seen a television show or movie where there's like an old person sitting on a what's happening all of a sudden? Okay, we got feedback. All right. Have you ever seen an old lady sitting at a slot machine, just sitting there putting in quarters and pulling the? You've seen this, right?
Yes.
That's what you're doing. I'm not trying to be unkind. I'm just telling you. You are doing the same thing those old ladies do. They sit there, they put the quarter in, they pull the lever, and they sit back and hope they hit jackpot. That's what you're doing. By the way, that's what most people do. So there's nothing wrong with you, Tony. What you're doing is wrong. Because from what I can understand, you are qualified for a position or multiple positions in cybersecurity. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
You need connections. I wrote an entire book on this concept called The Proximity Principle, an entire book. I covered it in the latest book, From Paycheck to Purpose, where I unveil the 7 stages to get you, Tony, where you want to be in your work life. Stage 3 is get connected. So the first stage is get clear. Tony, you presented beautifully at the start of the call. You're clear. You want to move from teaching to cybersecurity. What's stage 2? Get qualified. You've already gotten qualified. You're breaking down at stage 3 because you're not getting connected. It is when we get connected that opportunities present themselves to us to then walk into stage 4 and get started. So the proximity principle says in order to do what Tony wants to do, cybersecurity, he's got to be around people that are in cybersecurity. He's got to be in places where there are cybersecurity positions or training or special interest groups or whatever. Why? Because when I'm around the right people and in the right places, opportunities present themselves to me. Does that make sense to you fundamentally?
It does. May I add something here?
Sure.
Yes. So I did find some groups on LinkedIn to join, and I've put out inquiries and asked for a little bit of advice as far as that is concerned. And even then, I'm still finding it difficult.
Yes. Here's why.
So, what's your recommended next step?
Yeah. So here's why. LinkedIn is about information, not connection. Stop connecting with people via the LinkedIn platform. Everybody's on that platform for themselves. Can I just tell you? They're on that platform for themselves. They're not there for you. So if I can find their contact information, real world contact information, not LinkedIn, And then I can try to reach out to them. That's the first thing. The second thing is you, through your acquaintances, friends, and family members in Suffolk, know plenty of people to be able to find somebody who works in these companies that you've been applying to, and you got to have lunch, do phone calls, Zoom calls. You got to get somebody to vouch for you and take your resume in. And this seems so old school, folks, but it works. You still have to apply online, but to get an interview, you got to get noticed. And Tony, what's going wrong with you is you're not getting noticed. Hang on the line. I want to give him a copy of the Proximity Principle, which is really a deep dive into stage 3, get connected. I want to give him the book. Tony, read the book and do exactly what I tell you to do. And you'll watch connections, folks, turn into opportunities.